Soft wind, distant dawn, faint New York traffic fading in and out. They say loneliness has no language, but it does. It speaks in the space between heartbeats, in the way a teacup trembles in cold hands, in the way a man writes a poem he will never send, in the way a woman stares at city lights and sees only graves. This is their story. Ahmed, Amy, two souls from opposite ends of the world, bound by war, broken by love, healed by the very thing that destroyed them: loneliness. Part 1. Ahmed, the boy who survived everything but hope. Sound: Kabul Bazaar, clinking glasses, muffled Pashto, children laughing, then a sudden silence. Narrator: gentle, low, like a bedtime storyteller. Ahmed was born in 1983, the year the Soviets dropped bombs like rain. His mother named him Ahmed Adil, Ahmed of the heart, because even as a baby, he cried inly when no one held him. His father, a school teacher turned mujahideen, kissed him goodbye one dawn and never returned. His mother was killed in a marketplace blast when he was 10. His little brother Noor stepped on a landmine at 12. Ahmed buried them all in the same week. Pause. Wind. A single sob swallowed quickly. By 15, he was running a tea stall inherited from an uncle who died of tuberculosis. The shop was small, just 4 wooden benches, a rusty samovar, and a cracked mirror that showed a boy growing old too fast. Every morning, he boiled water, crushed cardamom, and watched the steam rise like ghosts. Every night, he climbed the narrow stairs to his room above the shop. One photograph on the wall: his mother, smiling, holding baby Noor. He spoke to her every night. Ahmed, whisper, raw. Amma, the tea is ready. The city is quiet tonight. Too quiet. I miss your voice in the silence. He wrote poetry on cigarette papers, burned them before sunrise. I am the echo in an empty mosque. No one prays for me. Love? Love was a word for songs on scratched cassette tapes, not some boys who had buried their childhood under rubble. Sound: New York. Subway rumble, heels on marble. Elevator ding, then sudden hollow apartment silence. Narrator: Amy Elizabeth Harper, 30 years old, senior associate at a Wall Street law firm, apartment on the 27th floor, view of Central Park, closet full of designer suits, heart full of nothing. Her husband David left on a Tuesday, left a note on the granite countertop. I'm sorry. The spark is gone. I need to feel alive again. He took the dog. She kept the silence. Her childhood? Parents divorced at 5. Mother in LA with a new husband every year. Father in London with a new family every decade. Raised by Grandma Ruth in a brownstone in Brooklyn. Grandma Ruth had one treasure, a worn copy of 1,000 Splendid Suns. She read it to Amy by flashlight during blackouts. Grandma Ruth, old, crackling voice. One day, child, go to Afghanistan. See how people love when the world gives them nothing. That's real, not this plastic city. Amy laughed. Then 9/11 happened. She feared Muslims, feared planes, feared everything. But fear turned to curiosity, curiosity to guilt, guilt to action. One January morning, she quit, signed up with an NGO, boarded a plane to Kabul, carried one suitcase, and a heart that had forgotten to beat for itself. First glance, the day loneliness met its twin. Sound of children laughing, chalk on blackboard, then footsteps stopping. Narrator. The clinic was a converted house with peeling blue paint. Ahmed taught English to war orphans. 20 kids, ages 6 to 16, all missing limbs or parents, or both. Amy arrived on a Tuesday, dust on her boots, fear in her throat. Class ended. Kids ran out shouting, "Kuda Hafiz." Amy lingered, saw Ahmed erasing the board, his sleeves rolled up, scars on his forearms like maps of old wars. Amy, hesitant. How do they smile after everything? Ahmed turned, looked at her. Really looked, not at the American, at the woman. Ahmed, soft, like a secret. Because loneliness is their oldest friend, they know love is a risk. But silence? Silence is certain death. She felt it then, a crack in her chest, like ice breaking on a frozen lake. Part 4. The tea that changed everything. Sound of samovar hissing, glass clinking, rain starting outside. Narrator. She came back the next day, and the next. Ahmed made her Afghan tea, green tea, cardamom, a pinch of cinnamon, served in a glass so thin it burned her fingers. Ahmed. Drink slowly. It's bitter at first, then sweet, like truth. They talked about bombs, about divorces, about mothers who died too soon, about fathers who never came back. Evenings, she went to his tea shop, sat in the corner, veil over her hair, heart in her throat. In Afghanistan, they couldn't be seen together, so they spoke in glances, in Pashto phrases whispered behind curtains, in poems slipped into her notebook. Ahmed, reading his poem, voice trembling. You are the storm I never prayed for, and still I stand in the rain. Let me drown. Let me live. Amy brought him books. He taught her to say, Zama dasra mele, my heart is yours. One night, under a sky thick with stars, she asked, Amy, do you believe in love? Ahmed, I believe two lonely people can build a country no war can touch, even if it's only in their minds, even if it lasts one night. Part 5. The Love. Forbidden, fragile, and true. They made rules. No promises, no future, just now. But love doesn't follow rules. He took her to the mountains at dawn, showed her where his father died. She held his hand. No words, just wind. She taught him to dance in the clinic courtyard after dark. No music, just their breathing. He laughed, a sound like breaking glass, but beautiful. They kissed for the first time on a monsoon night. Power out, rain hammering the tin roof. She came to his room soaked. He wrapped her in his only blanket. Amy, crying. I'm scared. Of what? Of leaving, of staying, of loving you and losing you. He kissed her forehead, her eyes, her tears. That night, they didn't sleep. They talked until the muezzin called for prayer. About dreams, about fear, about a world that would tear them apart. Part 6. The Goodbye. A wound that never closes. Sound, airport announcements, plane engines, a heart breaking in silence. Narrator. Amy's visa expired. The NGO said, "Come home." They fought in whispers. Amy, come with me. Ahmed, and be a ghost in your world? I'd rather be lonely here than lost there. Amy, you'd rather be lonely than try? Silence. The night before she left, she went to his room. No words, just held him. He cried into her hair. She memorized the smell of him: tea, dust, and courage. At the airport, he didn't come. Too dangerous, too painful. She boarded with a piece of paper in her pocket. His last poem. Ahmed's poem. Go, be the light I could not hold. I will remain the shadow that loved you. One day, when the world is kinder, find me in the tea steam, in the mountain wind, in the silence between heartbeats. Until then, I am yours, in the only way I know how. Alone. Part 7. The After. A love that lives in absence. Sound. Years passing, seasons, cities, silence. Narrator. Amy returned to New York, got her job back, smiled in meetings. But every night she made Afghan tea, burned his poems, kept one. Ahmed kept the clinic open, taught the children, wrote her letters he never sent. The roses bloomed this year. I picked one. It died in my hand, like us. Kabul fell again. Amy tried to find him. The clinic, gone. The tea shop, rubble. No trace. She stood in her kitchen, holding cold tea, and whispered, Zama Dazre Mile. Somewhere in a refugee camp in Pakistan, a man with sad eyes heard the wind carry her voice. He smiled, just once, and kept walking. Epilogue. The love that never dies. Sound. Soft azan, then New York traffic, then silence. Narrator. Gentle, final. Some loves don't end in airports. Some loves don't end in weddings. Some loves end in silence. And still, they are the truest kind. Because even when the world forgets, the heart remembers. In the steam of a teacup, in the dust of a forgotten road, in the space between two lonely souls who once, for a moment, were not alone. Ahmed and Amy, together, whispered, overlapping, Zama Dazre Mile. Long silence. Wind. A single tear. The end.